Hello guys, Zelfie here. Today, I had a video plan to try and do. Ultimately, I couldn't get the footage for it, so we are just going off whatever we got here. I'm really low on credits on this count, which is not something I thought I'd say, but when you end up crafting a bunch of shit, uh, especially high rarity shit, like I did for the Eevee video, then you are bound to lose a lot of your credits. So here I am, just actually using my code cards for once, and I just want to talk about life a little bit. Um, Normally when I was doing the showdown, oh god, why is that already invalid? That's awesome. But anyways, when I was doing the Pokemon showdown videos, I was kind of using that as like my opportunity to just talk about stuff. But I didn't feel like doing that today, and partially that's just because like with the showdown videos, like there's a chance for me to want to turn that into a script. I kind of went unhinged on the last one talking about not drinking and driving, playing showdown and driving. So I was like, okay, well, maybe we could save that for its own type of thing. And here I am with just nothing to do, and I just want to talk about life. Life is okay. I feel more stressed than I usually have been. I think that's because I've been doing this, which is perfectly fine because I enjoy doing this and I set myself up for this goal. But, I'm feeling a lot of resistance towards it. So, one thing is that, it's hard to come up with ideas every day. And even if, I don't execute the idea like I want to, I'd still rather have attempted the idea than not. Like, for example, I don't want to do a deck profile on a deck I don't care about or don't think is at least interesting to watch. And so that's where I'm at right now, where I'm like, okay, well, I could do a bunch of this other stuff, but I don't really care about these decks. Like, if I wanted to showcase off Badoo as like, oh, well, you could play Badoo in like Terapagos or Badoo in Gardevoir, but I don't really enjoy playing either versions of those decks. In fact, I don't like playing Gardevoir at all. So it just seems like something that I probably won't do. And because we have a long time until the next set, I'm probably going to be struggling for content ideas. We'll see as like tournaments roll in if people make anything like cute. And I'm sure I'm sure there's some stuff out there that I'm just like completely slacking on. But otherwise, like, I'm drawing a blank, and the thing that I spent like the past like 3 days trying to get footage for just didn't pan out. But other than that, when it comes to making content, I'm still like even trying to resist doing content, right? Because even though I'm uploading every day, I'm falling back into doing something that is really easy for me to do. That's just like record a few games, do post commentary, do some small editing, and then go from there. But to a sense, I'm like resisting the desire to like write a script or do anything out of that comfort zone. So despite like doing something new, I suppose I'm resisting the urge to actually like try to explore and all of that. Which sucks because like I keep telling myself like, oh, I have all these cool ideas, all these cool things I really want to do, and I'm just not, I'm not putting myself out there to actually accomplish those things. So I think that is causing a little bit of stress on top of just like being like, okay, well, what am I gonna upload for today? And I think that stems from a lot of things. Like when people go to the gym, they'll immediately delve into the hard workouts. Like I think when people go to the gym, they'll lift like maybe a few weights, and then they're gonna hop on the treadmill for most of the time because the treadmill is like so easy and so comfortable. Like it's just walking, right? And I feel like that's where the issue lies. In that when people try new things, they tend to like stay safe and they don't go too far out of their reach, which is fine. I think I have only done like 20 uploads so far. Like what is this today? The 21st? Yeah, 21st. So I still have 345 uploads left or something like that. But I do. It's definitely a spec. But I've definitely played it safe, haven't done anything too experimental, and I would like to try to do some stuff, but I will say that conflicts with the type of goal that I set myself up to do. So when I originally said, "Oh, I want to upload every single day," um, that forces me to come up with an idea every day, and sometimes I have to do something instantly as opposed to doing something long term, and that's why you see like a lot of high production like discussion or essay channels not post every single day, because there's a conflict of interest where you want to spend time researching or editing a video to make it as great as possible, but you don't want to be doing daily uploads because that time where you have to, do all that is going to interfere with your time actually, doing all the scheduling and stuff like that. So, I'm struggling to try to figure out where I want to do with that, and I'm understanding that some goals are going to have to be long term. So, like, if I want to do a big video idea, or talk about something, or do something that requires a lot of editing, then I'm going to have to set myself up a timeline to work through, and not expect these things to be, something I can work on very easily, especially between work and all this other stuff. What else do I want to talk about with life here? I'm still working. I work in an after school program, which is nice because my hours are, they're short, they're nice, they get me through, especially while I'm going to school and all this other stuff. But I'm going to be picking up another shift in the morning as well, but only occasionally. I'm currently listed as a sub for the morning shift, but I have a feeling I'm going to be quickly moved into just a regular position. And that'll be good because I like having money to spend on stuff. But it will also make some of my morning daily occurrences a little bit harder to do. I'm already not a morning person, so having to get up and be at work by 6, and then, come back in 2 hours, only to, wait a couple more hours to leave again is going to be a little bit rough. But, ultimately, I think having more cash would be great for me because it'll allow me to do, just a few more things I want to do. Like, I really want to get a new car soon, and that's really hard on the type of income that I'm making right now. It's fine enough that I can sustain myself with other things that I'm doing, but it's not enough that I can, provide myself with luxuries. I can take a vacation, once or twice a year, and, the vacation's really short, and it's only local. I can't do anything, super grandiose. But just, I get to go to a regional or two, which is fine. That works for me, but I'd love to be able to do a little bit more and visit, a lot of my friends in person that I've met online. And then, what else? I guess I just talked about today. So today started off with me literally waking up at around 9, and my friend texted me, "Hey, the Target is stocked with Pokemon cards today." I was like, "What? No way!" Because I spent all of Friday running around trying to get cards, and I went to 13 different places and had no luck. I only got my boxes through a mysterious benefactor, but I couldn't even get them for market price, which was originally my goal with that whole trip, So that sucked, but I was able to get a ETB today and a poster collection. The poster collection is going to go to somebody else, because I know they were asking for it, and I'm not entirely sure if I want to open it or if I can afford to open it. So I picked it up so I can just sell it back to them. Yeah, I'm not going to charge them up or anything, but I just wanted to be able to get something for my friend, and I was able to pick up the last of it. The ETB I opened, on the other hand, was extremely good. I pulled 3 Pokeballs, a Master Ball, and a couple other things that were pretty cool. So that was really exciting. I also pulled the full art Airy from the set, which will be funny, right? I didn't pull a Badoo, which kind of sucks, because that's a card I want to be able to collect more of, and just to give to my friends, because I know everyone's having a really hard time opening the set at my locals. So I want to be able to provide a few extra copies to my fellow players, but we didn't get anything. Also, life pack opening suck. I'm just putting in the codes as a way to give me something to do. I'm getting more credits, but I'm not really expecting oh, this is gonna be an amazing pack opening. It's also so lame. I miss how TCGO did it, but alas. Regardless, so I started my morning off by going to the Target, thankfully getting some stuff, come back home. I was going to save the box for later, but then I realized I had to come back home and do something else. So that's fine, whatever. Afterwards, I ended up going to work a couple hours later, and it was a fun day. I do like the site I'm at, but sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. I did just straight up kick everyone out. I didn't like today, because I have the option to move them from class to class. And normally, like, if they're not a problem kid, then I'm not allowed to move them. And I wouldn't move a not problem kid. But, like, when the kid has been causing issues for, months or whatever, then they understand. They have to go do something else. And that's kind of what I did today. I was looking at my codes here. I was like, did I just submit that code? No, I just moved it onto the stack. So otherwise, like, today was very tolerable. The start of it started a bit rough. But after we moved into the second portion of the day, my class ended up being trimmed down a lot, and I didn't have to deal with this problem students, which is nice. It's nice to not have to like constantly keep turning your back. I'm able to focus on the things I want to, which is one, coaching my students in Super Smash Brothers, and there's also another student I've been teaching how to play the game. In fact, I gave a lot of my prismatic bulk to him of stuff that I didn't need. So I also went through. Oh, that was something I did today. I cleaned up a bunch of my Pokemon bulk. As a player, I've been opening a lot of prize packs, and the prize packs are great because they help me, get decks and stuff for for everything, right? And I'm able to just bring my bulk with me and make sure that everyone has all the playable stuff that they need, etc., etc. But my ETB that I carry everything in was getting extremely busy, so I was just like, okay, well, let me go ahead, try to sort through everything before work. And I did so. I was able to give the kid some stuff, and hopefully he'll be able to build a deck soon. I know his birthday is like March 7th. I normally wouldn't go out of my way to like build someone a deck, but he's so interested in learning the game. I kind of feel like, going out there just doing something out of my own pocket. I have to do it under the radar because I don't want people to be like, oh, you're giving him a bunch of stuff. I know, like, my PLs and my boss wouldn't have an issue with it, but I just don't want to deal with, like, other students being like, oh, how, I want free stuff too. But, like, he plays with me every day. He's been learning how to play the game. And he's a very nice kid. He's got straight A's and everything. Super respectful. Type of guy who deserves it. So I'd like to be able to get him a deck. The only issue is that rotation happens, like, a week after his birthday. So I'd be giving him his gift a bit late. But I do want to probably get him Goldingo. He said that's one of his favorite guys because he's all about that big money. And Goldingos aren't as expensive as I thought they were. I know they peaked up in price around like Sacramento time because Goldingo just like got some really good results at that event. But they're back down to like $3 each, which I'm satisfied with. And I'll be able to build him the Goldingo Levincia deck. So there's a new stadium, the new set that allows you to grab 2 energies from the discard and add them back to your hand. Why do I have a celebrations code? Oh, right. I opened a pack of celebrations the other day. It was like my prize from the Sevens event. Yeah. Anyways. I think I'm probably going to build Goldingo because that deck is probably pretty good. And the deck is mostly rotation proof, so I'll probably order a lot of the cards in advance. And then hopefully just give him most of the deck around his birthday and just be like, hey, we're missing like 2 or 3 cards in here with the Levincias. So when those come out, I'll just hand them to you, and you'll have a completely ready deck to go. And so I think that'd be cool, because I know the only thing that's holding him back from constantly going to events is that he doesn't have a deck, and he'd have to borrow my deck. It's the only reason why his mother hasn't taken him to events. Because his mother's also a collector, from what I've heard, and she was talking about, I was like, well, you don't know if that guy's going to be there, if he's going to be able to help you out with the deck. And so I'd like to just get him something. I think it'd be really neat. Otherwise, the rest of the day went out well. I came back home and I'm playing in Draft League now. I probably won't upload videos for that because I thought I was motivated for it, but with how much I decided to take on my plate, I'm not as motivated. And the team I drafted, I definitely should have just drafted something else. I might change my team around, but it requires a lot of trades, and I think it needs a lot of fixing. So I'm not like super stoked to be playing right now, but I'm playing in it, and I'm gonna feel obligated to finish in it as well. It's nice to just add extra players to the draft as well. It'll make somebody feel well. And I've had my time in the spotlight too in a few other drafts, so it's not like an experience I'm like super missing out on. Cool, second Grand Tree, awesome. So, yeah, I came home, did that, and then just was chilling in chat with a couple of friends while they were playing Rivals of Ether. I know Analyst came out today, and I was watching it, honestly a little disappointed. He didn't look like the super fire character I wish he was, but I'm not expecting too many things out of Rivals of Ether 2 currently. Not until, like, Malo comes out. Even then, there's a big chance that like Malo just won't be as swag as I hope he to be, just because I like don't like a lot of the new mechanics in RO2. But that's my own personal preference. I know I'm in the minority here, so I'm not gonna dunk on that game too much. I just think it's not for me. After that, well, I guess during that, I was trying to record some matches. I was trying to play Seeking Charizard. So there's a new festival lead Seeking this that like double attacks and draws 2 cards per attack. So ultimately it does 60 times 2 and then draws 4 cards, which is like not a bad effect if we're gonna double it up. But the only issue was it's that like the games this game was really bad. The deck was really bad for a while too. And eventually just like, okay, I'm just gonna give up here because I'm not having enough fun. I don't think the video idea is. I'm not having enough fun. I don't think the video idea will catch on enough for enough people to see it and be like, wow, that's really cool. Because I'd basically just be bashing the deck the entire time in the video. And that means I think less people are going to share it. And when less people share it, it gets like less traction. So I just don't think it'd be worth my time, even if I think putting that deck out there would be kind of cool. It was like some like Japanese City League winner, and they win with some fucking insane decks. But you know, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't figure out how. Maybe they played against like all fucking what's that deck called? Like Sarah Ledge or some shit. That'd be crazy. Regardless. I also talked to my sister on the way home. I don't get to talk to her very often. It's not because of any particular reason. It's just that like I haven't seen her in years, and I'm very bad at calling people, especially my family. But she always reaches out to me, so she is fine taking that duty and being the communicator in our relationship. And it was nice talking to her, though I do feel bad because she called me. I gotta figure out why that code is invalid. I feel bad because I hung up on her pretty quickly. She called me right as I was like about to get off work, so I finished clocking out and all of that, and then I get in the car, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to call her back. About halfway through my drive back home, and so I do that, and I call her. We actually have a pretty engaging talk, more engaging than I usually give her for that time, and I feel bad, but well, not feel bad, but it was a good talk. And then I go to grab some food, so I go to hang up on her. But I realize I only talked to her for like 5 minutes, which then I feel bad because she spent that time waiting for me, and she definitely spent more time waiting for me to call her back than we did actually talking. So it's like, oh, I feel like a bad person. But yeah, that's kind of how my entire day went. I'm still feeling a little bit stressed out now, and that's just because I don't. Well, one, I'm gonna have school starting back up next week. I just finished up this class, and it was okay. There's just like not a lot of people in it, and I was able to do most of the assignments just fine. But I think the next class is gonna be way more intensive with my workload. So on top of like not being able to get to the ideas I want to, I'm gonna have an issue. Just getting even the daily uploads out. And I'll definitely have to plan around that. I might be taking too much onto my plate between morning work, late afternoon work, daily uploads, regular homework, and then any other side jobs I'm doing because I do commentary as well. I work for my great grandma, so I think I might be taking a bit too much underneath my plate. But one thing that's really bad about me is I have a really hard time saying no. When people ask me for things, I don't want to say no. I don't want to be like a burden, but I also want to like go out and do things. So when people like invite me out to a social setting, it's really hard for me to deny that. So if people want me to come hang over, it's like I kind of don't want to sometimes, but I make myself do it just to break out of my introverted shell, right? I want to be the extroverted person, but sometimes it's just like I'm not really feeling it that day. Cool patch around. That's a bad card. Gold Dango's good credits. Cool. So, yeah, I don't feel really exhausted. And it doesn't help that recently I've been getting up in the morning looking for fucking Pokemon cards. I did that on Wednesday, I did that on Friday, and I did that this morning. That said, this morning was good because I actually got something out of the experience, but yeah. Anything else that's going on? I don't know. It's mostly to say that, like, if you were expecting me to do a little bit more with the channel, it's gonna have to wait because I've realized how ambitious some of these goals are gonna be, and how much time they're gonna take to edit. But I want to slowly start working on branching out to some different topics. I posted a Fire Emblem short, and I wasn't expecting it to do well. But with the fucking Famortis being in the fucking Choose Your Legends ballot and making the top 20 like best voted male heroes right now, they just put out the statistics for that. I was like, maybe there's a chance. Maybe there's a chance. And it's definitely like it's such an iconic clip for me, or at least I feel like, of me killing the final boss with a fucking Phantom. But I think it's like my testing ground for wanting to dump stuff into or dip my toes into like Fire Emblem stuff. But I'm just trying to figure out how to, because I can upload Cypher gameplay, and Cypher gameplay is fine, but I don't think anyone's like super craving it. I think when I uploaded the Cypher video the other day, it was one, I was talking to Not Adam, who's, you know, exceptionally cool guy to be with. I love talking to that dude. I'm surprised that code worked. I was like, I swore I typed that code in wrong. But, you know, as a tournament match, I was talking about Adam, so that kind of like circumvented my rules for wanting to do something like that. But with Cypher, it's hard because not a lot of people like aren't interested in Cypher or know about Cypher, and most of them are interested in the actual game. It's like how there's a huge subsection of like Pokemon players who are interested with interacting with the game. The difference is that like Pokemon is still a global phenomenon, so even if people aren't interested in like playing the game as much, there's such a larger percentage of people who, you know, are at least aware of it, and definitely a larger percentage of the Pokemon player base that would play the Pokemon TCG compared to the player base that would play Fire Emblem Cypher. So, if I was going to do something with Cypher, I want it to be more informational content. I'd want it to be videos like of how good Marth was, or deck profiles, something like that. That way, someone who doesn't know much about the game can still feel like they're learning something when they click on the video, as opposed to just showing up and not knowing what's happening and then leaving a little bit confused. Because Cypher is such a cool game, and even though the community is like, yeah, experiencing a little bit of a drought just because the game's been dead for a while, I'd still love to be able to promote it somehow. And I know I have the platform to possibly put myself out there. So yeah, it's just tough. It is just tough. I definitely will try to make some Cypher videos in the future, and I want to like do more Fire Emblem stuff in general. But that's an even more complicated thing than doing like Pokemon TCG content, because what I think Pokemon TCG content is an open sea where there's so many ideas that people could be doing but aren't, and I think there's a lot of ways to capitalize on that. I think with Fire Emblem, it's much harder because I just don't know what people are looking for in Fire Emblem. And my channel isn't Fire Emblem centered enough to give me like good analytics about like what people will be searching for that type of stuff. So I'd really have to be, doing some research on like what people might want to see if I'm gonna delve into general Fire Emblem content instead of just Cypher content. And I definitely want to find a way to get Fire Emblem people watching and then get them interested in the Cypher content, or at least like enough as a spectator that they're like, whoa, you know, the card game is cool, or the art is cool, or like, whoa, I didn't know that. Stuff like that. So that's kind of where my angle with that stuff is right now. There's still a few other things that I want to do. Like I've said, I've wanted to talk about music, but finding a way to talk about music is hard unless it would just be me ranting. So I'm torn between like writing a script for some of the stuff I want to talk about, or just, you know, doing a video sort of like this where I just like, oh yeah, this band is really cool, or this song is really cool. But that also feels especially bad because like I'm not listening to the music at the same time that I'm talking about it, which I think is a huge part of it. I think the only channel that I really like that does this is 12 Tone, and that's because they have the music major, so they can tear apart specific parts of the notes and play like just a single instrument, and they're able to talk about the song that way and showcase it to you without making you feel like totally isolated from everything else. That is a crazy hit off the currency here. So yeah, that is that's where life is right now. Is life is going okay as life usually goes. Not super phenomenal. I mean, I'm happy at the channel and all of that, but I do wish I was putting myself out there, doing a little bit more. But I've come to understand why it's hard to bring myself to do those things now, and I think understanding is the first step to solving. Regardless, I'd like to thank you guys for sitting here for like 26 minutes or something and listening to me rant about cards and stuff, or not just cards, but just about my day in general. I don't have anything else to really add on. You can like and subscribe if you enjoyed this type of stuff, or look forward to like whatever my next videos are, and I'll see you guys around.